I look at the stronger time frame that is to break. Like here, I'm using the daily. I'm not going to go and use an hourly origin. I might go to the hourly time frame to see exactly where the test happened. Like it could possibly be this right here, this candle right here, which was the valley right there. Once I go back to the daily um, and see that there's a daily valley right there, I'm more interested in seeing how it reacts against the daily. Um, and less against an hourly time frame. Go to the 4 hours, see what the 4 hour shows. Yeah, and that's a 4 hour as well. So it's like, are you going to use the 1 hour here or the 4 hour here, which was also the daily, or the technical origin, which is here, because this is technically the origin level. Now that is technically the origin level, but you have a tested daily valley right here. So I would also would not be using this. I would be using this level right here because it's the this will execute before where was that last one there? Let's go back. This one will execute first. So I am not looking to see, you're not going to have a breakout from 291. Like this is not going to be a breakout position to 360. Like you're not going to have a 5%. Like that's, origin levels are breakout positions, right? So come on. You're not going to have like, that's not even 12%. What is it? You're not going to have like an origin level break to gain 8 more percent. So rather I'm looking at the current origin level, what's important in the move. Let's talk about ERD for a second. On stream, I was saying ERD either has to have a massive breakout or it's going to fail huge. And it was either break this trend for a huge breakout or just completely fail the move, which it actually did have a massive breakout. I'm a little sad I missed ERD. GTO has kind of made me miss a few moves that I would have taken. 100% on ERD, which is absolutely nuts. But to see where this came from on a lower SAT coin, you can see the gap in the market on this coin. So when you start to look at something like ERD, you can see first and foremost valley and trend valley, which this will end up being a hold level for the future, right? And you look at something like this and you can see the failure down, and it tries to confirm over and fails down very quickly. So when you're looking at these trends, right, and you see something like this where it tries to breach over, right, what did it actually do on the hourly? Did it actually close on the hourly? It didn't. So this is a really good example of something that, like, the bad part about using too close of information, because confirming on a 15-minute might just be failure on a longer time frame. And this level is actually from back here. As you can see, it was kind of an origin level that was created, and it tried to break it and failed. But a lot of people probably started to pump volume into this coin right here because it was riding and breaking trend, and it looked like it was about to break up. But then, like, it failed down pretty close after. That's the bad part about getting too acute with information, is because what you miss is you miss the larger part of the move. And the larger part of the move in this was that it couldn't actually close on the hourly candle. So what I would actually do on this is I would actually see when that actually happened, that failure in this move happened. Like here, the first hard close is at 22.10. 22.10 would have been what on the 4 hour? That would have been right before the 4 hour close, wouldn't it have? 23 is the 4 hour close, isn't it? Oh, I can't remember. 1923. Yeah, 1923. So you see where the 4 hour just doesn't even have a chance to close over. Had that happened a little soon, like a little forward in time, I think it's a little more realistic, because you're setting up this 4 hour candle to possibly cross over. So had that been set a little better, I think you're setting up that. So like, this is the problem with trying to confirm on these lower time frames, right? Like, yes, you can get really acute information, but then you don't see what's happening on the larger time frame. So it's the unfortunate part about charting on too close to a time frame can cost you a lot. Like, it can cost you a lot. Like here, it costs people a lot. Like, there's probably a lot of people who got in here and we're like buying in this area here, like in the span of from back here to here. And then this thing went down like 25%, which is nuts. That's a lot of money to lose. From 25% in less than 12 hours is a lot. And then it breaks and moves up. So that's fine. That's fine. But the difference here being that this is probably confirming an hourly close, right? And it did. So you can see the confirmation of the candles closing in a stronger way. And even the 4 hour confirm here is you're getting a stronger move the higher it closes. So on a low SAT coin, When you're adapting these trends, like you have to be careful. Like, and on any coin, you have to be careful. So first thing I would look at this move, like I would dissect what I have pinned. Okay, so I have it pinned to this daily. I don't know why it's there. I have it pinned to this daily, which is fine. There hasn't really been anything hard close over it until today. Oh, okay. XUG is trying to do something today. But against what, right? Like then you look at this higher time frame and you're like, okay, April. This trend is from April. This is nothing too crazy, but okay, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's not crazy, but it's not bad. So we might be starting a ladder up right now against it. I would then break this down. How I would move it. I've pinned the daily, and I would go through this and I'd say, okay, has anything hard close over? This one right here has. This actually right here has closed over on the 4. So what I would do is I would take this and I would move it to here. You could either move it to this right beside it, to the next swing high right beside it, or you could just move it to the one right there, because that has actually hard closed over it on a 4-hour. So if I was to do that, I would then do this. I would go 4-hour right there, and then I would go back to my daily. This is all a part of day splitting, right? I'd go back to my daily and say, okay, is that still respecting trend? It is there. It is there. It is here. It is here. So this kind of becomes the new trend. So how'd you move that properly to the 4-hour? Like I haven't even looked at XUG. I don't know how long. And this was the close over off of, I think it was like right here. And this is the hard close over. I would then be pinning it to that. I think we were like right here because I was talking about going to this candle right here. Well, it doesn't matter. Either way, it's fine. I would then go to, where was it? Oh, shoot. We'll just control Z. It was that guy right there. Okay. Aha, that's what it is. It was up here. I would then go to this guy, and then I would go down in time frame. I've confirmed it on the daily, right? This is all part of day splitting. I've confirmed on the daily that it's still within this candle here, and then I would go down and I would see, okay, what's actually going on here. Maybe go to the hourly and say, okay, well, it's still trying to break trend. We haven't really hard closed anything yet. This hard closed here, but I'm not. It's this. None of this is hard closed in here. None of this is hard closed. None of that is hard closed. I'd go back to the 4 now. All part of day splitting. And I'd be like, well, nothing is really hard closed until just now. So then I would look at the daily and I'd say, okay, what is the target on this thing? The target is an origin level from back here. So clearly there's an origin right here, right? I was going to put it on the top of this, but then I thought, okay, well, it's probably going to be an origin from right there. Probably tried to rebounce off that target. Then I would go and I would say, okay, where's this origin? What failed? It was this that failed right here. And is that actually accurate? Okay, so you come down, pull up, you fail. You come down, you pull up, you fail. There's actually something in here inside of this before this attempt here. I would go to the hourly, and I would say, this is the valley right here. This is the valley that tried to close right there. So that would be the origin level here, breakout for the future. So it would be probably trying to wedge against this level right now. So it would most likely be trying to wedge against this valley right here. And it failed down, and that's fine. I probably tried to break out of this and tested an inverse somewhere. And this is how I would look at this, and that's how I would assess the ceiling height on this. And I would only assess the ceiling height on this because it's not that big of a trend it's breaking. So really, the trend that is breaking is not big enough to really dictate that the ceiling height can be all the way up here at 153. Rather, I think you could come up here 30, 40%. That is a really good move. Like, don't get me wrong, that's a good move. I think we could hit trend. I don't know how long it'll take, but I think we can just hit trend as a target, confirm trend again for the future move, and then as to where GTO is in this moment right here, this can still hit trend and then pull back, and then hit trend and pull back and then break, something like that. That's how I would assess like a lower stack coin. Something happening in distribution here, like there's a lot of let's do it like this. Okay, we have trend failure here, so fine. What would be a really interesting and great place for this to break? Well, right here, it's an untested leg. More so than that, back here. So this is kind of the first two things I would look at. I would be like, okay, it's trying to touch trend. Where's a really good spot that this thing could hold and break trend? Where this would be very interesting and very strong if it can hold this whole level for the July 2nd to proposed July 4th at 1500. So 48 hours. Just call it 48 hours. So 48 hours. If this can hold for 48 hours, it would be very interesting. and a very strong sign that you are going to start closing over. This kind of just looks like a target right here. Like this kind of just looks like people got the trade here that created the trend low off of some hold level here, and now they're targeting trend to exit. And then if it could hold off of creating this uptrend, if it could hold, then it could have its next move up, because obviously people are accumulating against the hold level into trend. It's going to move up, right? So you see something like that versus something like this. This just becomes extended distribution, right? So, and then I would look at this level too, like, oh, that's an interesting hold level there. That's pretty cool. Let's see what happens here, right? So then, okay, you have the same thing happens. Okay, let's get some really sick entry, and where could the valley attack be now? So the valley attack on the 4 could actually be right here. So valley attack is going to valley attack over top of trend. Like this is starting to look interesting. This is where I think you're getting more into what does it look like when you're talking about wicks and breaks and hard closes, is more interesting setups, because the more interesting it is, kind of the more things it has in its favor, the better. But then it fails down here, so it's like, okay, well, this move is cooked. So I'm assuming there's some kind of hold level down here. And we all know our market right now, and it dumped down there. There's nothing really showing us that this move, like maybe there's some kind of like 1 hour hold right here, or possibly something right here, and then even possibly the low of the move. So there's kind of these 3 arbitrary spots right here where it's like, okay, well, maybe if one of these hold, it could be technically laddering up, and then maybe we are slowly uptrending here. So now there's going to be a move from here to possibly this here, which is just a wick pass dump down trend to see what's happening, right? Like the setup is just not there yet, right? Like the setup is just not there. So fine, whatever, come down. Okay, wick over. You see, like the setup's just not there. Like it's just there's nothing here to be had. Maybe it's okay. So here would actually be the backside. There's the backside, and that would have been interesting. The final hold level. Okay, so I missed that one. The final hold level backside, it dumps down. Could be a huge move up here, but we all know it's not. We know it just distributes further until it gets to this point. Now you see the difference is it's finding support during distribution. It's finding support right against trend. It's not like back here where you're coming off of a move up into a move down. This is just distribution now. This is just continuously moving down. And through finding support, it actually comes up and level clears. And now you're just kind of holding this hold level through the same thing you were trying to do here, except this is already pretty tightly wedged against trend. Like this is already pretty tightly wedged against trend, as opposed to something that has this bigger spacing like this, like these bigger blocks of spacing, right? So I think more when you're looking at how soon is it going to break, you have to look at what the potential profits are, because people will take this 30% or whatever, this 138 to 180. That's a lot, actually. Yeah, that's like 30%. People will take this like 34% or whatever it is, 31 to, yeah, this 30, I can't say. I think that's just 34.9. Yeah, ooh, that was some good quick math. Some 36. Damn, I thought it's at 34. 36%. People will take that, right? Like people are going to take that. They're not going to be like, oh, 36%. That's not enough. Like they'll take that when it's going to touch trend like this. But down here, I mean, where's 34% here? 34% here is like nothing. It's like right here. It's just to the valley. It's already 30%. So like this is like a pretty reasonable trade to take off this trend break. And then I would just look at like how long this trend. Like this is a pretty decent sized trend. It's from April. It's not that bad. It's not that great, but it's not that bad. It's not like some other coins in the market that are on our watch list. So what could this trend feel? Yeah, I could feel something like that, right. So it's just kind of like the same thing. Like I would just say multiple touches make a trend stronger than yeah, they do. They validate the trend. That's what they do. They validate the trend to show you that this is actually trend and that this is going to be what's respected, right? So I think more so they validate trend.
Hey everyone, how's it going? As you know, I'm now giving out some of this content for free that I was otherwise charging for the past little while. Yeah, drop a donation, subscribe to the channel, join Patreon. You'll get access to Discord. Great way. Lots of top level traders in there, people who are doing this for a career every single day. So go to Patreon, join a tier, get access to Discord. Go on Reddit, talk about future of trading, talk about the science of trading, talk about cotton candy, socials, everything you can. Let's help this thing grow. It's the way you guys can thank me for giving out this content for free that I was otherwise charging money for. So I'll leave a Bitcoin address on the screen. I'll leave the Patreon address on the screen. Just do something to help out. Okay, thanks guys. Take care.